Joining me now for reaction to all of this is Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters of California, who's part of the House Democratic leadership team. She's also the top Democrat on the House Financial Services Committee, and I hope we get some time to talk about that. Congresswoman, thank you for joining us. I want to just jump backward to the immigration fight, the hearing that's going on tonight. Pete Williams talking about the fact that one way or the other, this goes to the Supreme Court. Whoever's not happy with the outcome takes it to the Supreme Court. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I see it playing out precisely that way. I think that those judges in the states that put a temporary stop to the initiative that was handed to us by the president have a good argument. And basically what they're saying is that their states are being harmed, that the universities and the businesses, et cetera, are all talking about how they're upsetting their lives and how they are interfering with their businesses and with education, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that they make a very good case for that. On the other hand, I don't think the president or this administration can make a good case because the 7 countries that they have targeted have not shown any tendencies for terrorism in our country. No one who's come from that country have caused any terrorism in our country. And so I think the states have the better case. And so I believe that if they are to prevail with this temporary restraining order, that it's going to be challenged by the administration, that's going to throw it into the Supreme Court. There will be a 4-4 vote, I do believe, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Which then allows the appellate court vote to stand. We've been watching the Senate floor as the Democrats protest the nomination of Betsy DeVos as Education Secretary, and you probably just heard my conversation with Casey. Right now, 2 Republican senators say they'll oppose her. There are rumblings of a third. We can't get confirmation on that. There have been a number of phone calls, letters, emails pouring into Senate offices in the last week. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, but I do know that she certainly did not conduct herself very well. She obviously is not qualified. She has no experience. She's not served in the classroom. She's not been on a school board. Her kids didn't go to a public school. And so she was not able to really, truly convince certainly all of the Democrats that she's qualified for this position. And I think there are a lot of Republicans who are not happy. Some of them don't want to cross the president, but they know that she's not qualified. And the way that she answered the questions, the way that she responded to Senator Warren just lets us know that this is a poor nominee to head education in this country. And so I don't know what's going to happen. I know it appears that there's a tie right now, but I am hoping they can find one more Republican. 3 Republicans would do the job, keep her out, and would give this president an opportunity to come back with a credible person. Our teachers, our education systems, our families are really relying on leadership from this government to try and improve education and improve the dropouts in this country and get our kids educated. Yep. They deserve better than Betsy DeVos.
Congresswoman, you have brought up the word impeachment a lot in the past week. You tweeted on Friday, and I know you amended this a little bit, but let's talk about the tweet. It said your greatest desire was to lead Donald Trump right into impeachment. I think you've since said that he might do it himself. But in response to your statements, a White House official told NBC News this morning, I'm quoting here, Minority Leader Pelosi has already dismissed this extreme rhetoric. When San Francisco leftist Representative Nancy Pelosi is the one trying to rein you in, you know you are out of touch. Between blocking the president's unquestionably qualified nominees in the Senate and this new extreme impeachment talk, the Democrats have completely lost control and perspective. The majority of Americans are behind the president's efforts to drain the swamp and bring major change to Washington, end quote. Congressman, what's your response to that?
Well, my response is that they have created a response that is not credible. This is the most outrageous and ridiculous president that this country has ever had. He cannot be depended on for anything that he says. And so for them to try and pretend that somehow what I'm saying is outrageous and I've been reined in and all of that, there's no truth to that. As a matter of fact, all that Nancy Pelosi said was she was not ready yet to talk about it. talk about impeachment. I'm ready to talk about it because I do believe that he has shown us enough and defined himself in ways that we have to be suspicious and concerned about him, and we've got to dig deeper. I'm wondering, was there any collusion between him and Putin and the Kremlin as they hacked into the DNC, into the DCCC, and to members of Congress?
What's your best way of achieving that, though? If you're suspicious of it, who goes and figures this out?
Well, we have two committees, one on the House side, one on the Senate side, who are supposed to be doing these investigations. And so the people have to make sure that they do real investigations, that they're not whitewash investigations. They have to make sure that the voices are heard. If that means continuing to have the protests, continuing together, continuing to put heat on the elected officials, we do that so that we can get credible investigations to find out what was the involvement of this president who loves Putin so well, thinks he's such a great leader, and is prepared to say that we're just as much killers as he is. We got to know more about what his involvement has been, how long he's been planning this, who did he work with, and I believe that he's leading himself right to impeachment.
Congresswoman, we're out of time. You and I will have to talk about financial matters another time. Hopefully you'll come back and we can have that conversation. Congresswoman
Love
Maxine,
to talk about Dodd-Frank.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.